Welcome to Speech Fundamentals. So this is going to be for both of my summer sections here. Um, oh, good. I can edit this on the fly. This is for summer 2020. Okay. I'm going to review the syllabi for one section, actually. The syllabus for 153. That is asynchronous and synchronous. So let's go through bit by bit. I am Dr. Rob Conrad Lozon, but please just call me Rob. My office is DH301. My phone number is there. That is my office phone. If you leave a voicemail, they'll send me an email with the information on the voicemail, but you won't be able to reach me. So I'm not sure. Sometime this summer, I think they're planning on patching through or doing some kind of call forwarding, but nothing that I'm aware of at this moment. So for the time being, leaving a voicemail is the best way to get a hold of me there. My office is in DeMere Hall, 300. Obviously, I won't be there all summer. But it's just there in case. Office hours are by appointment. We could set up a WebEx call or whatever. There's my email. So class day and time are Monday, Wednesday, 6:30 to 9:35 p.m. You won't be meeting every day of the semester, but because it's a truncated semester, because it's a shorter semester, you'll be meeting You'll be meeting more than not, because we have to do speeches. So it's speech days only when you'll be meeting on a WebEx link, and I'll send all that to you guys in the days and weeks to come. So this is the course description. This course introduces the fundamentals of organizing, outlining, and presenting narrative, informative, and persuasive speeches. Specific attention is given to each student's verbal and nonverbal delivery and the communication of ideas, as well as to the development of creative abilities, critical insight, and listening skills. Students will deliver a narrative, informative, persuasive speeches. Students will participate in a total of 5 presentations, including your introduction speech, narrative speech, informative speech, ethics presentation, persuasive speech. Students will be eased incrementally into longer, more difficult speeches as the semester progresses. So that is the specific of the course. I know there's a lot of anxiety swirling around about this course, but just hang with me. I promise you'll make it. You guys maybe have it easier than other semester because you don't have to actually do physical in-person presentations. It might be a little bit easier for some of you, but you still do have to present your ideas, which is part of the anxiety, right? So the goals of this course are the outcomes. Students will identify and apply basic public speaking principles. Students will analyze audiences, choose and research topics, organize speeches, and cite sources to support your speaking purpose. Students will demonstrate proficiency in the following information literacy skills: identification of information needs, efficient access of information, critical evaluation of information, and application of information to a specific purpose and ethical use of information. Students will deliver speeches in a variety of styles using effective verbal and nonverbal behaviors. Students will implement effective strategies to manage public speaking anxiety, and students will learn to apply ethical reasoning skills to speaking situations. So the methods of instruction are a little bit different this semester because of the nature of the course. We are, we're part online in a asynchronous fashion, and partially synchronous. So there are recitations. These are, going to be posted online in a discussion forum, and you'll have to engage with those. There's discussion board activities, which will be part of the recitations, but the discussion board activities are not all recitations. There'll be presentations. You guys, obviously, this is a speech class, so you have to give speeches. There's a group presentation. Yes, one time this semester, you will have to work all semester with your group, and you'll have to put together a short little presentation. Don't get hung up on the presentation. It's merely a studying exercise for the exam. And then there's assignments. You will be graded for this based on your adherence to guidelines. Oh, that's coming up. Here we go. Participation. Oh, there's the book. Telling Your Story, a Narrative Approach to Public Speaking. So that is the book. We do read from the book, and all of the information for the exam will come out of that book. So, evaluation and grading. Participation. You will have to find a way to participate in the course through discussion or whatnot. Primarily discussion, but also your group project is part of the participation. Negative participation, physically or verbally aggressive students. So obviously the physically is not really, relevant for this semester. Obviously, I don't want you to like track down your classmates and spit on them or something. Wear a mask or whatever. But you're not going to see your classmates this semester unless you choose to. Obviously that's always up to you. But I'm not encouraging anybody to meet up physically. But verbally aggressive students, it says you'll be immediately expelled from the course. That's not the course in general. Obviously, I take this on a case-by-case basis. I've only had one unfortunate incident in all my time teaching at CCM where I had to basically, stop a class and end the class because students were getting ridiculous. I'm not a high school teacher, guys. So if you're acting like high school students, I'm just going to walk away and just end the class, and then that's something you do to the rest of your classmates. I'm not here to administer punishment or do any of that stuff. I didn't get into teaching to be any kind of principal. Okay, I spent a lot of time in the principal's office when I was a kid because I asked too many questions. I guess that was my flaw, was asking questions, which is I guess rewarded in college, but in regular school I guess it's not really rewarded. um and I don't have a favorable view of the way that regular school is run, where you go to a principal office and you get detention and you get suspension and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to deal with it. So negative participation, if you guys are acting like high school kids, I'm going to end things, and then you'll just miss out on whatever grades that you were supposed to be earning in that particular part of the class, and then we can reconvene or whatever. So please be appropriate. I will say, and this is not really relevant for the virtual platform, one semester I was sitting there and some student was giving a very difficult, a speech on a very difficult topic, and there were two young men in the middle of the classroom passing notes and chuckling. Now, this was a very difficult speech the guy was giving, and it's difficult. This class, people share their feelings about things because we have to take opinions on certain things. I had to basically stop the class. I didn't ask them to see what they were passing. I don't care what they were passing. I'm not your principal. But it's inappropriate. What are you guys? Are you guys college students or are you high school students? So negative participation, I don't do it. I'll just end the course. I'll just end that particular session, and you guys can give it some thought and reflection and come back and act like some big kids or whatever, okay? Act like the adults that you're supposed to be. I'm teaching college. You guys are all adults. Assignments. All assignments will be evaluated based on their adherence to the guidelines. Presentations, again, based on the preparation made by the individuals. Outcomes assessment is your exam. Speeches, here's all your speeches listed. Intro speech, narrative speech, informative speech, persuasive speech, group presentation on ethics. Miscellaneous activities, those are the things you'll be doing in the discussion board. Here's the breakdown of grades. You got your narrative speech, your informative speech, your persuasive speech, outcomes assessment. I hate exams. I don't think they're very beneficial for, from my perspective, but certain people, certain people because we work together. I work with my colleagues. Some of my colleagues use assessments, and this is how they assess the course. So this is the assessment of your performance and, my teaching ability. But, if a student fails it, and they're doing great on their speeches, maybe they're just bad at memorizing, for their exams, and that's fine. So you'll never lose your entire grade. So even if you only get a 40% on your exam and you're getting 100% on everything else, you still won't lose your A in this class. So keep that in mind. The intro speech, the virtual podium activity is something that I brought into this semester in lieu of another assignment that I had done. because I don't want all of the speeches to be so heavily weighted. Your informative speech and persuasive speech are enough to like tank your grade. So the rest of this stuff should be relatively easy for you to jump on and complete. So the virtual podium activity is a thoughtful reflection on the space that you set up your computer and create for your speeches. It's kind of one way that we can start thinking about the difference between the mediums. How does delivering a speech via computer differ from a speech in the classroom? That's what the virtual podium activity is, and we'll talk more about that as the semester progresses. Presentation on ethics is your group presentation, and then miscellaneous activities is your discussion board effort. There's your final grade. Let me explain this course calendar here. So everything is broken down by weeks. So you'll see here you have the week of June 30th, July 6th, July 13th, July 20th, July 27th. These are all weeks. There's activities. These are the things that you guys should be doing. So this week, when you're watching this video, hopefully when you're watching this video, the week of June 30th, you should be taking a tour of Blackboard. Review the syllabus. Review the guidelines for the introduction speech. Review guidelines for the virtual podium assignment. Interview your assigned classmate for the introduction speech. That's it. Those are the kind of things you should be doing. Okay, I'm telling you what you should be doing, since I don't break down the course into modules, because I think that's infantilizing and it's not really the way that the world works. Those are the activities you should be doing in the Blackboard. The assigned readings for this week: chapters 1, chapters 8. That's it. Discussions that are due. Discussion for chapter 1 and discussion for chapter 2. That's it. Synchronous meetings. On the far right here, you see synchronous meetings. Basically, those are classes when you're supposed to log on to WebEx. So if you're ever confused or you're trying to give your boss your work schedule, and your boss is like, hey, I need to know what's going on, don't fret, because everything's listed here. You got to meet on July 8th. Okay, so that's one class. You got to meet July 15th. That's another class, okay? So that's 2 classes. July 22nd, you got to meet. July 27th, you got to meet. That's 4 classes. 5, 6. You got to meet 6 times over the course of 7 weeks, okay? So these are when all of the speeches will be given. That's what you'll be doing for your speeches. So your first speech is July 8th, right? So this is June 30th. When you log on here, you have 9 days to get ready for your first speech, okay? I don't think that's unreasonable. So let's back this up a little bit. July 6th, again, you'll see here activities, review guidelines for narrative, review guidelines for ethics presentation. And then these are the chapters you must read, the assigned readings. There's assignments and discussions. This will tell you what discussion for why it's important to tell your story, discussion for chapter 2, discussion for chapter 3. So every week, there's not just going to be one discussion. I do it subject-wise. So it's based on the content of the discussion. So some weeks you might have 3 discussions. And then some weeks, like the week of July 20th, you have no discussions whatsoever. You don't have another discussion for the rest of the semester come July 20th. You just have to work on speeches. But you still have to post your ethics presentation. Okay, that must be posted in the discussion forum. So that's the calendar. Here's some college-wide policies. Email, you got to send me an email from CCM email, and then that's it. There you are. Okay, hopefully I kept it short. Hopefully my daughter's television program in the background wasn't too distracting. Thank you.